Welcome to Humanitarian Watch by Fractured by ReFOCUS Media Labs. This is a new format of a podcast that we used to bring you every 2 weeks. Now we're bringing you something every week. So you will still have our in-depth conversations every 2 weeks, but in between you will either have an opportunity to listen to the Humanitarian Watch, which is very brief, 15 minutes of important things, events that happened in the humanitarian world, predominantly related to the situation of people on the move, or our other formats. Everything is coming, so stay tuned. And as I said, this is very short, only 15 minutes, but the informations we're giving you here are super important. Rashid, do you care to start?
Yes, of course. So each one of us, the year is here, 2025, and we have hopes and we have a bucket list we want to do. But not for everyone, unfortunately, in this world, because 613 people, the media said they were deported from Libya to Niger. I say they were abducted because they were forcibly taken from this place, putting into trucks on top of each other. So a truck that maybe can hold 20 people, they put 60 there. And they were dragged in the desert and they were thrown into Niger or other places because they did not care. And this is not the first thing. Even when Gaddafi was there, he did it many times. But I just want to say to the Europeans who did this deal with Libya, look, this is your result. This is what you did. And even before, when the Arab Spring started and Libya went into chaos, black people were sold in markets as slaves. And I saw videos and I talked to people from Libya. And I actually... there was a guy from Libya with me in the camp when I was in El Yunus, 2016, when I was living there. And he referred to black people as this word in Arabic, it's called abd. So they didn't say black people, and abd means slave. And I was like, what the hell? And he was talking to me, no, it's fine. We brought them to work. So I'm not saying all Libyans, but they were treated even way bad before. And now the Europeans making a deal. And... yeah, something else. But I saw something else. In the beginning of 2023, Libya deported 350 Egyptians, but they were respected in lines, in cars, really nice clothes. And I was like, why? Why they do this? And then I was like, yeah, of course, because Egypt is so strong and they care because Egypt also is giving weapons to parties there because they want allies. But these people, they just throw them in the desert. You know, they don't care. And I listened to a general, or I don't know what's his thing in the army, on TV. He speaks, he said in 2023, Libya deported 23,361 persons. So
is it like, can you even call it deportation?
No,
because you just put people on the truck and just
abduction and just throw
somewhere.
them somewhere. And I saw videos on the internet of people all over the place there. They were found almost dying. And just people going into, trips with their friends, and they found someone on the road and just going to die and save them, giving them some water. And from different nationalities, from Sudanese. So a Sudani person is there. So it's just...
yeah. For me, the very sad thing about this is that many of those people ended up in this Agadez
camp, yeah.
Which... should be some kind of at least something. At least they are provided with basic support, but they are actually not. They have been protesting there for several months, and the protest is very simple, like in most camps: access to water, better food, basic needs to be supported. Human needs, yes, to be supported. They're also protesting to find out what happened to one person that died during rallies that happened 2 years ago, but the horrible part here is that it is, yes, the EU deal with Libya. This is one thing, but EU has a deal with Niger right now. And it's just like there are human rights guaranteed in the world, but on the European level, the legislation is huge when it comes to guaranteeing those. But those human rights are only for certain type of people, and they are not for everybody.
I remember a friend of mine when we were kids, he just told me something. It's really sad. He said, if we ever make it to Europe, we're not going to tell them to treat us as humans and give us human rights. We just tell them, give us animal rights. And he said, it was sad, but to be honest, these people, they're not even given animal rights. It's just so sad, yeah.
And this is something that I really was surprised to see. Namely, the European Court of Human Rights found Greece guilty of systemic, and this is very important to highlight, systemic pushbacks of asylum seekers. So it was just announced a week ago, from the moment we record. This woman who filed the claim, because this was a case of one woman, she was pushed back in the northern border in Evros River from Greece to Turkey. And as an outcome of this, she was imprisoned in Turkey. She filed the claim in 2021, which was already 2 years after this pushback. And we have the ruling only now, so it all takes time. But there are other cases pending. And what the court actually decided, first of all, that she will get 20,000 euros of a reparation from the Greek government.
No, from the European Court of Human Rights, I think.
No,
they
Greece,
awarded her, really? Greece
they awarded her, yeah. The European
okay.
Court of Human Rights saying now that the Greece has to pay
good luck
her.
taking that money.
But even though, what's 20,000? Like, the woman lost several years of her life, spent time in prison.
She's Turkish, right?
Yes, yes. So, what's 20,000? But the important thing here is that the court says, and I'm quoting here, there were strong indications to suggest that there had existed at the time of this event, of this pushback, a systemic practices of pushback of third country nationals by the Greek authorities from the Evros region to Turkey. And all those human rights defenders, they are saying that this is a breakthrough ruling. And I would very much like to believe it. Okay, there are other cases waiting pending in this European Court of Justice, so this can be some kind of a precedent for them. But we've been living here for a long time, and I don't know what your opinion is, if this can be something that can really change something when it comes to pushbacks.
Oh my God.
I know so few refugees in Greece who have not been pushed back. So few. Most of the people I know, I would say like 80%, have been pushed back at least once, most of them like 7-8 times.
When we had the NYU visit last week, they asked me why European countries don't help refugees here, even though they know what's happening here. And I said, honestly, and I don't like to use this, I was talking with Doug about this, but to be really, really honest, the deal is take this money and take care of refugees. That's on the table there. Under the table was like, take this money and keep them there. We just don't want to see them. And one of them told me, yeah, but that's not actually really good. I said, because they don't have another option. I mean, they have another option, but in their mind, because Greece could say, I'm going to open the borders. Take this 4 million, like Erdogan is doing. He's always blackmailing Europe. I hope it's a start of something good. Yeah. But like you said, we know so many people that have been affected by this. In personal level, we know them. They work with us. They still work with us. And I don't know. I hope it's a good thing.
We're inviting to the podcast for a deeper conversation Greek Council for Refugees. So if somebody's interested in the topic, definitely should follow us and wait for this conversation. They will be able to tell us more about those cases, because actually by now several more probably have been announced. So important information.
There's a story that many people will see it as it's a sad story, but for me it's like a hardcore story of someone just saying, hey, I'm going to put my foot here and I'm here on earth. There's a girl that she was born on the 6th of January. Yeah, this year. She was born on a death boat. Yeah, this is how they call it. Yeah, coming from Africa to the Canary Islands. So the woman was pregnant and nobody, in that chaos, everybody wants to survive. She just came to this world. And I think it's the biggest fuck you in any racist person who's in power now, like fuck you, I'm coming, on the boat. This girl did not want to wait until they reach. She's like, no, I want to experience this. I want to come here. And so even the Coast Guard, I think the Spanish Coast Guard, they congratulate the mother on X. So I'm like, okay, that's a really good thing. But let's say something. A record of we're gonna put the links for the sources in the description. A record of 46,843 undocumented migrants reached the Canary Islands in 2024.
Mm-hmm.
And I always say undocumented migrants. Do they want us to arrive with documents, with European documents? I'm like,
Not European. It's a matter of like.
I know,
it is
yeah.
easier
but
if you have your
just say
documents.
undocumented migrant. I just don't like it. Yeah. So, and on that post, I was reading the comments. So of course, many of them attack the mother. How dare you to bring a child there? You are not a good mother. But do you really think that someone who has a little bit of safety in their country will take? She's pregnant and she knows that she's going to give birth in any hour. She would do that. I don't know if you think that you can. I'm just going to read you. But the best comment, it's so good. This guy said, now, if this kid doesn't start a revolutionary movement somewhere for her people, it will be a waste of a good story. And I was like, this is so good. This guy is so good.
I love it. Okay.
Yeah.
First of all, a comment about the mother. I spoke to a friend who was a doctor in several camps, and she was saying that if she was a mother, if she was pregnant, if she were pregnant, and she knows she will give birth at some point, she would choose to go as pregnant rather than with a small baby, because this baby now is protected in her belly, and it is some kind of a protection. Yeah, if she's in danger, then of course the baby is in danger immediately. But it's so much easier to take care of yourself, even if you
could easily
have
lose
the
a
belly.
baby. You are like 60 people in a small boat. I have seen it. I came with a boat, and there were like babies crying, and I was like, oh my god, the first ones, babies. It's so hard, really. Yeah.
I love the waste of a good story, but for me,
a lot of pressure on this girl.
Yes, but on the other hand, I saw all of those posts congratulating the mother, the Coast Guard being super happy, and I'm like, I understand that it was born on the 6th. It's the Three Kings. It's a big holiday in Spain and any Catholic countries. But this girl is so special because of that. I bet you now they're going to speed up the procedure and everything. One child.
Because she was in the news.
The whole policy and everything is so absolutely terrifying right now in Europe. And she absolutely deserves to be treated fairly and get asylum if there is a claim for it, right? But nobody else from this boat is going to get this treatment. You know, it's so that's the thing that bothers me in this story, that there's something positive about this, but there's a lot of unjust, unfair treatment around this child. Like there will be so many other people still waiting in line, suffering, possibly deported.
I was just, because in the news they said about the captain of the rescue vessel, like they were talking about this guy that he was I don't know, he was driving the boat, how they call it,
steering
the boat, and usually they take them to prison because they accuse them of something that they were smugglers. I don't know, but
and what's gonna happen to this?
I'm waiting for this girl.
Guy,
in 20 years,
In
20 years, I'm gonna text this girl. Hey, any revolution thoughts here? Let's go. I've talked about you.
And she's an accountant, right? And
like there would be so much pressure on this girl. Like, hey, I just want to be a normal person.
Like she just like I was given this gift of being almost born in this country. I just want to use everything that a normal Spanish kid gets: some education, some safety, good food. I just want to live a normal
basic
life.
Stuff,
I want to be a teenager, go crazy, go to a cinema and not, fight for absolutely every moment of my life. Absolutely. Okay, for the last news, we're going to the country I love following for the ridiculousness of what is happening there, namely Afghanistan. So I like talking about this because I feel like we have to remind people again and again and again why people would escape from a country like Afghanistan. And it's so obvious. I mean, at this point, it is, for God's sake, so obvious. We have a ruling saying that women from Afghanistan should be granted asylum just because they are Afghan women. And the treatment of women in Afghanistan is absolutely horrifying. And there's this new law that is like really, really strange. I need to read it to you too so that you understand it. So the Taliban government has introduced a ban on the construction of windows in residential buildings that overlook homes where women live. And all the existing windows will be bricked up entirely. So that you imagine you live in a building, there's like in your neighborhood there's another building, and you see a kitchen of a woman. And because this is a situation where women can be more intimate, you have to seal your window because you cannot see it. And I always love those explanations that they're giving, saying that in Quran there are certain parts. So they are saying that the Islamic principle says that seeing a woman working in kitchens, courtyards, or fetching water from wells, possibly without head covering, could lead to immoral acts. And I really love it. I mean, it's just ridiculous because it's usually women who are being punished for possibly immoral acts of men, right? In this case, okay, everybody have to seal their windows.
She is responsible for your thoughts.
Yes, absolutely. She is, because you cannot stop yourself as a grown-up man from harassing a woman. But what I want to say, because it's like there were several things happening with women in Afghanistan in the last month, and just before Christmas there came this news regarding NGOs saying that from now on all the NGOs that hire women, if they do not fire them or will stop hiring them, all their programs will be restricted. And it's not a new law. It was introduced 2 years ago, but now they said that they're going to start enforcing it, right? So as an NGO, international NGO, you're facing now this dilemma. Should I like stay to my values or like be able to implement my values, like meaning helping people versus allowing everybody to work in a diverse environment and not be discriminated because of their gender, right?
It's crazy restrictions because they are not meeting you in half. It's just nothing. You're working with nothing. And I read that some local radios and television stations have also stopped broadcasting female voices. So
even the voice.
The voice. Yeah, so radios and TV.
It refers to this law that we reported on, I think, in November in some of our posts, saying that now women voices are not supposed to be heard in public. So if you like going to a store and there's like a man selling bread, you cannot really talk to him saying what you want. You have to be silenced. Like female voices are...
Or bring a child that we can talk.
Yeah, absolutely. And women already cannot go to school. Girls cannot go to school. Women cannot work in most of the jobs. They cannot go to universities. There were some schools that were still open for Afghan women, and they were predominantly in medical areas. So, for example, you could train to be a midwife.
So you can work only with women.
Yes, because this was a problematic thing because they thought like, okay, it's again immoral if a male doctor delivers a baby, right? He should not do that. So they allowed women to train, but the Taliban took over the overseeing of those things. So now, those are government facilities and government programs where you trained. And just in December, they unofficially stopped it. They said it's suspended until further notice. So like even this at this moment is not functioning.
But I just want to talk to one of these guys. Just have like an honest. Don't kill me, please. Just honestly. What do you want? You don't want their voices. You don't want to see them. So let them out. Like, please let them out and stay there and fuck each other. I mean, I don't know. Like, really? Like, what do they want from this? Like, you want just a country with men? Yeah, stay there, but let them out. And I was thinking of the guy who we interviewed for the North Korea. They have that program where they were like taking people from North Korea and taking them. I mean, the whole world should do this. We should take these women out and let them there. And let's see. Maybe they're going to be happy, but just stay there.
But you know what? Like,
I'm not saying everybody. I'm not saying everybody there. Like, these people who
what's
are
the future of this country?
I'm not the future, the solution. And I think it's not I think it's just the beginning. I really think, because I know stuff in Quran that can be interpreted in a really bad way. And I hope they don't go that way. I see them going that way, but it's just so difficult. And I'm telling you, if they go that way, this is just the beginning. But yeah, I'm talking about the solution. So what the world do some countries are dealing with Taliban. Some countries sending money there. I was listening to this podcast, the Sean Ryan show, and he had this guest, and she said that Taliban had they started so many NGOs so they can get funding, and these are fake NGOs and they're getting money. And she said, I don't know if it's true, but partly it's true. She said they're getting 40 million per week from these NGOs. So, and she was accusing the USA because she said most of this money coming from the USA that they are funding the Taliban. And what is the solution? Like a war? No. But I think they should smuggle everybody who's doesn't want to stay with them and let them be. It's okay. Stay with your fucked up thoughts. That's your country. Yeah, you can name it whatever you want, but just let the people live. Let them breathe. I mean, a woman so she's wearing that thing. I don't know how they call it in Afghanistan, in her kitchen, but that's not enough. No, make a wall, do something, close it. I'm so angry about this.
Good.
Yes.
Thank you very much for being with us for this.
Sorry for my anger issues.
Yes.
But I'm not going to work on them.
Yes, Rashid is apologizing for his anger issues, which is totally justifiable. And thank you very much for being with us and joining for this short Humanitarian Watch. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time.